श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते महाविष्णु गोस्वामिनिति नामिने नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे तो श्रीमद भगवद गीता ऐसी की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय श्री नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन की जय जय श्री गुरुदेव ट्रांसेंडेंटल संन्यास एक्सेप्टेंस डे की जय श्री लॉर्ड नरसिंहदेव ट्रांसेंडेंटल अपीयरेंस डे की जय श्री लॉर्ड नरसिंहदेव की जय हरे कृष्ण So welcome everyone and wishing all of you once again a very happy Lord Nrsimhadev Appearance Day and Srila Gurudev's Transcendental Sannyas Acceptance Day today. Way back in 1991. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we have devotees of the Leader Sangha, the selected devotees who would be sharing their realizations about Lord Nrsimhadev Appearance Day. Mind you, it is a short notice for them too, and for all of us actually. And so uh, yeah, I would request them to please, who'd like to start, please start first. Others can join afterwards with them. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry, Prabhuji, my video is off because I'll finishing work and I'll be traveling. So, sorry about that, Prabhuji.
That's all right. You're at work and you're still able to speak. That is wonderful. Please, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. First of all, thank you very much, His Grace Samrish Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Pragya Devi Dasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Smarpan Krishna Prabhu for organizing this wonderful class and program on this auspicious, very auspicious day on the occasion of the appearance day of Lord Narsimhadev and Sannyas acceptance day of Srila Gurudev. Lord Narsimhadev ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, yes, Prabhuji, this day is very auspicious, very important for all of us as appearance day of Lord Narsimhadev, who is very merciful on devotees and very dangerous for demons. So when devotee is in danger, they pray to Lord Narsimhadev and all the fear and anxiety goes away. So these points I was meditating or thinking about fear and anxiety, because nowadays it's very uncertainty everywhere, and and it's only when we come under the shelter of um, lotus feet of the Lord, lotus feet of our Guru Maharaj, then we can find some relief. So actually, yeah, this fear and anxiety is part of our lives, and every one of us have fear and anxiety in material world. But this pastime of the Lord, we see fearlessness of Prahlad Maharaj and fear of Hiranyakashipu. So devotees of the Lord becomes fearless under the shelter of the Lord, and demons, they are very fearful of the to see um, Lord incarnation. So as long as we have material desires, fear is inevitable, because when we are attached to our sense gratification, then fear and anxiety comes. Actually, this attachment is cause of fear, but attachment to the Lord gives us fearlessness. And and we understood this point that attached person is always a weak person. So we because we compromise truth when we are attached. So this fear and anxiety only Lord can take away from our heart, and Lord appears. The appearance of the Lord vanquish the fear. So Lord Narsimhadeva appeared to vanquish the fear and kill Hiranyakashipu in the in the form of the holy name of the Lord. Um, the holy name is appeared to destroy the fear from our heart and killing the demons like material desires. So actually, this is a matter of faith. Because 100% faith on Krishna without any material desire, then uh, we can understand that. Um, because the pure bhakti definition, um, we we studied that also before. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmad anavritam anukullena krishnanu silanam bhaktir uttamam. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotion service. So this pure bhakti, when there is no jnana and karma, so this unalloyed devotion service is needed to become fearless. So Srila Prabhupada is like fearless. He was fearless, and his name is Abhay Charan, so fearless. Srila Prabhupada were fearless as he were because he's a pure devotee and always um, bold in preaching of Krishna consciousness. When we attach to our designation or position or anything materially and only serve our own senses, then the fear and anxiety is always there, because we always be fearful of losing our position or losing our comfort. In this sense, we are Hiranyakashipu, because Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means soft bed. So if we are sitting in our comfort zone and not taking risk for Krishna, then fear will come. So Srila Prabhupada set the example in the old age, and he traveled around the world and established Krishna consciousness movement in every corner of the world without any fear. So another point that this fear element is also in demigods. So the difference between demigods and human beings is that demigods approach us to authority, whereas um, the demons or inhabitants of earth, or we people, we like to be independent. We like to challenge authority, or we want to become authority. So that's the condition of in this material world, that we want to lord it over. So when we see the example in Bhagavad Gita, that Arjuna also got disturbed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but what he done in that, he approached the authority of Krishna, and his problem was solved. So the conclusive instructions of this incident is that we may be disturbed by some material conditions, but if we approach the authority who can actually explain the matter, then our problem is solved. So the demigods, they approach Brahma, and Brahmaji then approach Lord Vishnu, and thus the problem gets solved. And similarly, if we approach authority and um, follow Krishna consciousness and instructions, then we will be saved. So we can understand that we should always approach authority. This is the quality of a devotee, and he is 100% dependent on Krishna in any situation, good or bad, happiness or misery. Hiranyakashipu was he challenged authority, and he wants to become authority. And it's not that he didn't know the philosophy. He also knew the philosophy of human life and spirit soul, and he tried to instruct that philosophy after his brother's death. But for himself, he is not acting upon it. So this is hypocrisy and demoniac attitude. So when we give big philosophy to others, but fail to apply it on our lives, then it is very easy. Um, then it is hypocrisy, and it is very easy to tell others and apply in our own life. But that's very so that's why the pure devotees of the Lord, like Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev, showed us by their examples that how to apply Srimad Bhagavatam in practice. So in the end, I want to pray to Lord Narsimhadev that to appear in our heart and destroy this ignorance and desire of um, enjoying this material world, and want to pray on the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev on this auspicious day to always bestow your mercy, causeless mercy upon us. And yes, Prabhuji, this is my realization. So Nrsingadev ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay Prabhu, Hare Krishna, for your very nice realization. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry, I'm still all over the place. So I don't know. Happy Lord Narsimha Happiness Day to all of you. And happy Maharaja's sannyas day when he took initiation for sannyas. And thank you, His Grace Ambarish Prabhu, Her Grace Purnpana Devi Rasi Mataji, His Grace Krishna Prabhu, and all the devotees who have taken time out to participate in this very important festival and share to realizations and make your own realizations. So this becomes a very important day for the devotees, for the disciples of Maharaj, because of Maharaj taking the very sannyas today. And I think we have been celebrating this day for quite some time, and we have been reading these scriptures, Bhagavatam, elaborately, and Abhishu has given many classes on this topic, which you probably found out on our channel, on the Hare Krishna WECAN YouTube channel. So when I was thinking about this, that what I can share, what I should share, so the first thing which came to my mind, of course, I've been going through here and there, was that Maharaj has also given a class, and which probably you might have heard, but I would like to recite that verse from Bhagavatam. And then the relation, I will probably give one verse previous to that, which probably I connect to that more. And hopefully I make sense out of it and I don't make any offense. So we are all Indian body. We celebrate Holi. We burn Holika. We do Holika Dahan. We know Prahlad Maharaj. We know Narsimhadeva. We know Hiranyakashipu. This is in our blood. We are born and brought up with this, all the stories. But the way it has been described in our Bhagavatam is unique. It's very different. We have read so many stories and heard so many stories. It makes so much sense to all of us. And considering the age of Prahlad Maharaj and how he pacified Lord Narsimhadev after Narsimhadev killing Hiranyakashipu, in spite of he thinking that he's the most powerful man, and through his smartness he has covered all the situations, so he cannot be killed. And he was actually ruling the entire universe. And he was living in the heavenly planets. It's very nicely described. So the verse Maharaj has sung and given a very big class, and I think Avishwar also shared this many times. And that verse is Prayena Deva Munaya Swavimukti Kama Maunam Charanti Viganena Parata Nisthaha Naitan Vihaya Kripanan Vimukshayuiko Nanyam Tvad Asya Sharanam Brahmato Anupashe. So this is the verse. This is the verse which has been sung by Prahlad Maharaj when he was pacifying Lord Narsimhadev, as I said, and he's been giving all those information about how people worship and how get they bewildered, and we have shared many times the relations and who qualifies and what the situation of a devotee. And and after that situation, nobody could go in front of Lord Narsimhadev when he killed Hiranyakashipu. And Prahlad Maharaj was singing all those prayers. It is part of his prayer, and when he's glorifying about the devotee and that how devotee is engaged in the service of Lord. So, translation by Srila Prabhupada. My dear Lord Narsimhadev, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance, not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence. That is Mauna Vrata. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone. Leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals, I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at the lotus feet. So that is a promise given by Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Narsimhadeva while he's describing that how the preaching happening and how actually devotees are engaged, how selfish they are, and what is the way we should do and what is the situation. And it's so true. Means nowadays, I think even this is not happening. People are not going onto Himalayas and everything. I don't know. I may not know. But people, wherever they are living there, the cheating propensity prevails, even when they're preaching. And that nullifies all the purpose of preaching. And in the sense of this particular verse, they all are selfish people, and they are actually not maintaining the purity of the message. What actually matters. And in the purport, I like to read few lines which Prabhupada writes, giving the background of this verse. This is the decision of the Vaishnava. This is the decision of the Vaishnava, the pure devotee of the Lord. For himself, he has no problems. Even if he has to stay in the material world, because his only business is to remain in Krishna consciousness. That is a position of a devotee. Because that his aim is only to remain in Krishna consciousness. He doesn't want any other consciousness. The Krishna conscious person can go even to hell and still be happy. That is the point to understand, that how can a Krishna conscious person be happy? He may not look happy to a materialistic person, but I feel that they are not happy. They are actually in a much higher position. That's called bliss. And that's what I always wonder that what keeps them going. This like Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, in spite of facing so many difficulties in the material life while trying to preach, and what they kept them going. What was giving them the energy? How they kept going in spite of such advanced stage. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj said, "Naivo dvije par duratya vaitarnaya." This is previous verse, which I will also like to refer. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. The pure devotee is never happy in any condition of life. And this is contained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, verse 17. Canto 6, chapter 17, verse 28, which Prabhupada again refers that the pure devotee is never unhappy in any condition of life. So that is a sign of a pure devotee. He is always happy. So if you are not happy, depending upon happiness and depending on satisfaction, that shows our purity in terms of Krishna consciousness. And this is also discussed by in Bhagavad Gita and many purport by Srila Prabhupada also. What are the symptoms of a pure devotee? And the verse which I have referred, I'll quickly read the translation also because Prabhupada has referred it. And before and after that, I'll share my relation on the previous verse also, which Prahlad Maharaj is singing. The translation of this verse: devotees solely engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. Never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. They don't want anything else. And they are in spiritual world even while they are in the material world also. Because it doesn't matter. And that's our take from this day, that how we can improve a situation that nothing matters except remaining engaged in Krishna conscious activity to the best capacity which we can. Of course, we have got a material body. we have got a bad bargain, we are suffering, we have to find a job, we have to make money, the economy is challenging, the wars are happening, these things will keep happening. They always happen, even from the stage of Satyug. They're always a rascal, one rascal after. As I was reading, preparing this, means there were two rascals came when Brahma has taken birth. The two rascals, Madhu and Katap, those who wanted to kill Brahma also. So yeah, rascals were always there, and even now. So, but a devotee, a pure devotee, not a devotee, a pure devotee. We are not happy because we are not pure. And we always have something to complain or something to worry and something to bother. So Maharaj has given 1.5, 2 hours class on this and giving a lot of examples and getting devotees to sing these verses. I remember that, and giving example that how those people who go on Himalayas and all those things. That's a very nice, and I'm sure that is on our website or on our channel also. The verse which is previous to this, and it's a very long purport, which I think just that lot of different information Prabhupada is giving in with respect to this verse, and prayer being sung by Prahlad Maharaj after appearance of Lord Narsimhadeva. So when I was looking at the moon today, and I was remembering, okay, this is the time, and that's how I remember. That's how devotee remembers. And luckily, I could see the moon today. It's very hard in our busy life. Good, I was out and about. So the previous verse which Prabhupada refers in this, which is even more powerful. That's also powerful, of course. Naivo dvije paraduratya vaitaranyas twadvir gayan mahamrita magna chittaha soche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udavo Hato Vimudhan. So this is the verse for Vimudhan, the stupid people, no? And the translation is Oh, best of the great personalities. This is Prahlad Maharaj saying, and Narad Muni telling this story to Yudhishthir Maharaj in an assembly. Very nice background. Translation. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. For wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. That's our situation. We find ways, we call it dovetailing. Find our ways to remain absorbed in the thoughts of your glories and activities. And believe me, it's not easy because our mind and our mobile phone, they give us a lot of problems. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. When Prahlad Maharaj is talking about this, about the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans, the whole world is busy in this situation. And this is, if I'm not wrong, this is Satyug. Heavenly planets, all these things are happening, and that is the situation where all those elaborate plans are being made by fools and rascals, and now they're in abundance now. The whole world is busy in that situation. So this is the world we live into, and we are suffering, and we try to find the way. So the way to find out is that we find ways to fully absorb in the thoughts of your glories and activities. And that's our bhakti. That's our purity. And again, it's a very nice purport by Prabhupada. And there is a very nice verse from Bhagavad Gita, Ahankara Vimudatma. I would like to share that also before I close my realizations on this particular day. So purport by Srila Prabhupada, throughout the entire world, everyone is making big plans or adjust the miseries of the material world, and this is true at present. This was written in 1970s, before that, when Prabhupada. So throughout the entire world, everyone is making. Prabhupada is not making exception here. Everyone is making big be plans or they would adjust the miseries of the material world. And this is true at present, in the past and in the future. Nonetheless, although they make elaborate political, social, and cultural plans, they have all been described herein as Vimuda, fools. The material world has been described in Bhagavad Gita as Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, permanently Dukhalayam, temporary and miserable. Yeah, that's how situation is. But these fools are trying to turn the material world into Sukhalayam, a place of happiness, not knowing how everything acts by the arrangements of material nature which works in her own way. And this we can see when this is the burning news, means everybody is trying to, one country is trying to prove that this is how I'm going to be greatest country ever. And the other country is trying to be most powerful so that nobody can bother me and I can become. So they're all trying to find happiness, temporary situation. They can't learn things from history. They're so stupid. Yeah, Dukhalyam Ashashvatam and Vimudas. And Prabhupada refers a very nice verse here also from Bhagavad Gita I am actually referring to, which Krishna is telling to Arjuna in chapter 3, when he's talking about action in Krishna consciousness, is that Prakritiha kriyamanani gunaya karmani sarvasah ahankara vimhudatma kartahamiti manyate. So this is ahankara vimhudatma, full of ego, false ego, vimhudatma. And that's, I don't know why people cannot understand. They can solve so many complicated problems. They can design so many things to make humanity happy. They claim that humanity will be very happy after AI is fully implemented. I don't know. And ahankara vimhudatma. So the bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities that are actually carried out by nature. Even Krishna is not doing it. It automatically happens. This is a process which is automatically activated and automatically working. Yeah, nobody has to do anything. The bewildered soul, the bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, think himself to be the doer of activities that are actually carried out by nature. It automatically happens. Things are automatically happening. But a pure devotee or a devotee can see this situation. They can understand that the verse we were studying yesterday in our class, that the pure devotee can understand from the activities of the devotee that in what mode they are. This is exactly being discussed here also. So on this auspicious day, I would like to pray to Maharaj to give me strength so that I can be fully absorbed in the thoughts of your glories and activities, no other business. If that doesn't happen, it means something I'm lacking, because instructions are there, situations are there, but I find ways how not to do it, or I found my own excuses, and for whatever reason. So please bless me so that I can celebrate, remember this day, and implement Maharaj instruction perfectly. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. This particular lecture was the extreme callous mercy of Krishna. You were there at the time. There is a background behind this lecture. It's a little confidential, but today is a confidential, pastime and appearance of Lord Narsimhadeva. So what had happened was, as it is with Maharaj, there are very few devotees around. There was no money given to run the temple. So once when we went there were about 7-8 devotees. Krishnadas was small, so he was running around playing soccer with them. When they were doing service, he used to go into the school. And yeah, we all bonded very well, all of us. Next year we went, there were only two. They were all maintaining the temple, running around. It was like quite depressing. So Maharaj wanted to say this, that devotees wanted to go and say, I want to stay in Vrindavan. So they left and went to stay in Vrindavan. So Maharaj was saying, no, this is more important to stay in the cities. Then one should think only about their own selves. Look what Prahlad Maharaj says. And that's when Maharaj emphasized this point, that in big cities we don't want to go to. People who are just self-interested, they go to the Himalayas for their own uddhar, for their own deliverance. But what about the rascals living in the cities? So Guru Maharaj instructed that devotees, we should be staying in the cities and we deliver, preach and deliver people. So this should be done. So Maharaj was very pained by this, and I could see we were there, so I would understand this. At the time we could stay for many, many days, together. So yeah, I just thought I'll put that perspective. And Maharaj's class at the time when there was not much disturbance, I would go for a long period because when devotees come from overseas, then there is something more. Recitation is there, so question answers are there. Maharaj are, and otherwise, even in the class, Bhagavatam class, there is one person, two people. So sometimes I would say this. Sometimes you say more, and I would be wanting to have. Okay, you come all the way from so far away, you know. And of course, it was during the time of Sri Vyas Puja and all that. So more devotees were around. So that's why I would speak for a longer period, even with the asthma, and he would never take puffs. But for this, they would take puff, and continue going, just so that we will get our money's worth if you're traveling so fast, so far. Yeah, I just thought I'd share this point. Hare Krishna. Yeah, please continue.
Yes, Prabhu. I think I've shared this story, and also that's how you could record this entire lecture. That you have got a recording of this entire lecture. Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I share my realization?
Please. You need to ask.
Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Chargyaspan Pege Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for organizing this program and giving us opportunity and encouraging us to think and share our realization on this very important occasion of the appearance day of Lord Narsimha Bhagwan. And thank you, Avinash Prabhuji and Sanjay Prabhuji, for sharing your realization. Okay, I would like to start my realization by singing this prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya. Namasa Tejasa Avir Avirbhava Vajnaka Vajdamshta Karmashayan Randhaya Tamo Grasa Om Swaha Abhyam Atmani Bhuvishta Om Sham Om Sham Om Sham. All glories to Lord Narsimhadeva and happy Lord Narsimhadeva Prince Day to all of you. And today is also a very auspicious day because Srila Gurudev also took sannyas. So that is very important for us as well because because of Srila Gurudev and also Srila Prabhupada's instructions I'm sitting here and because of Amrish Prabhu that actually we are on this path. So thank you very much. So actually I was meditating actually try to prepare my realizations today. I didn't get much time, but as Amrish always insisted that we should share our realization from what we have studied so far. So I also read the message actually in the morning, the Amrish Babu shared, greeting everyone. And he said that we should pray today, to the Lord, so that we can actually become a fearless, and we can actually request protection of our own bhakti from the Lord. So that is very important. And Sanjay Prabhu also mentioned, he spoke on the point of fearlessness. So this is very, very important, because as soon as we are in actually in any threat or trouble, I remember Lord Narsimhadeva. We start reciting his name. So he's very habitual, and it's all credit to goes to Amrish Prabhu, actually, who trained us. Because every time we travel, every time we take a flight, Prabhuji told us that you always sing Lord Narsimhadeva prayer, and it is actually become a ritual, for us, and we always do that, by habit now. And it's very actually important, any important things that we're going to do or comments, we always pray to Lord Narsimhadeva for the protection. And by that very point, what I realized that I'm very fearful, in this material world. And I was very fearful before I actually come to this actually program or on this path of Krishna consciousness. But since we actually, start to actually chant the holy name and start to actually, study Bhagavad Gita and its instruction and try to implement them, this slowly we become little bit fearless. I'm not saying I'm fearless. By no means I'm fearless. But definitely, actually, I have become more confident than I used to be. And we always rely, and we always been taught that actually we are never alone. Even we are actually in the most secluded place. Krishna is always with us. He's in the heart of everyone as a Paramatma. So that very feeling actually gives me a lot of confidence. And we always, become fearless. Even in the actually toughest situation we go through. So actually, as we know, the pastime of Lord Narsimhadeva and Prahlad Maharaj, Avinash Prabhu also briefly actually spoke on that point. But the one thing I always wondered, that as we know, the Prahlad Maharaj, is just 5-year-old boy, and actually even at such a small age, he was very staunch devotee, of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. And as we know that because he is the devotee, actually he has to go through so many troubles, tribulations, atrocities that his own father Hiranyakashipu, that actually he actually put him through all that. As we know that actually he was put into the fire, he was thrown from the cliff, he was actually also try to be he put under the feet of big elephants, in the pit full of actually poisonous snakes. So this is actually pastime, we heard. But when I think of that, actually, how actually Prahlad Maharaj must have felt, because as soon as we are in little bit of actually, difficult situation or trouble, we become very fearful, and we lose our composure and we react, because as we know that, just for the ordinary person, when he isn't actually put into threat, so he either run away or he actually attack, in defense. But Prahlad Maharaj, actually he was actually put through all these, atrocities, but he was very steady, he didn't even move. Neither he actually protested, neither he attacked back, and neither he ran away. So, which is actually very actually thought provoking for me, how one can so fearless, at such a small age. So the reason actually he was so fearless because he was actually a devotee, pure devotee, and he has a firm faith in the Lord that Lord will protect him in any situation. And I remember this, even Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, actually he instructed I remember while actually studying Nectar of Instruction, one of that he said that actually, the devotee should have a firm faith that Krishna will protect us in any situation. And when we attain that faith, then you can call yourself a devotee. So this fearlessness actually, how actually, it is built, in our heart. So for Prahlad Maharaj, he was born as a devotee. And how he was actually become a devotee, as we all know, that actually he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from a great devotee, Sri Narad Muni. He was when he was in the womb of his mother, and all that realized knowledge actually made him fearless. Because when we are situated, when we are in avidya, when we don't know, who we are and what we're supposed to do, then we naturally become fearful. For ordinary person, even just to take a simple example, that for a materialistic person, death is very, very fearful. Because as they get closer to the death, they become more and more fearful. Because they do not know, where they will go or what will happen to them. So actually this unknown thing, can make anyone fearful. But for the devotees, because who has this knowledge, that we have received, with the mercy of Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, that at least we know, what happens after the death. And if we manage to remember Krishna, if you manage to become a good devotee, a good follower of your actually spiritual master, then at least you will have some assurance, that you will be protected. So the knowledge is very important. So I would like to actually share this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is from Canto 1, Chapter 7, and verse 22. Arjuna Uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabhavo Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvam Eko Dhayamananam Apavargosi Samsrite. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Translation. Arjun said, O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. So, it's just a short purport, so I will read it. Actually, it's very instructive because today, is a very important occasion, as I said. Srila Gurudev also, took the sannyas, and the importance of actually the instruction coming from Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, are very, very important, for us to progress on this path. So here, actually, Arjun was aware of the transcendental qualities of Lord Sri Krishna, as he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjun's version of Lord Sri Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness for the devotees. The devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Material existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished by the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. The spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self-realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, I found this purport is very instructive. So here we understand how a devotee can become a fearless. And here it is actually even described that our situation, in this material world, that we are actually living in a like a burning fire, and it is very true when I think of it, that we are always disturbed, there are always, troubles, as we say, padam padam chivipada, and especially in today's time, especially, as we know what's happening in this world, the wars are going on everywhere. There is so much of uncertainty, and we discuss that all the time. Amrish Prabhu brought this point many times, that do we think about this, do we have a plan ready for the future? So unfortunately, many people don't think. I'm in the same category, do not think too much. So we end up being very fearful, So unless we are situated in a proper knowledge, we cannot really uh, introspect, and we cannot understand what is happening. We cannot see things as they are, and we cannot plan for the future as well. And this is all because of actually avidya. Srila Prabhupada always says, actually he speak on this point many times. I heard in his lectures. There's this avidya. Actually when we are in avidya, so that is what is not actually spiritual knowledge, then we will always end up suffering in this material world. That's why he says that we are suffering unnecessarily in this material world. So this is very true, and I see this. I don't really have to look at other people. I can see at myself and my life, and I can realize this. So this is very true that we are living in a blazing fire in the forest. This is our situation, and here is said that Lord, devotee of a Lord is always fearless because protection is given by the Lord. So we all know that actually we are protected by the Lord, but how we are protected, so is actually described further, that actually we can receive the rain of mercy from the Lord, through the transparent medium of self-realized spiritual master, and who, by his words, penetrate into our heart, and we can actually, he can extinguish, inject that knowledge, transcendental knowledge, and we can extinguish the fire of material existence or suffering. So this is very important, as we say that we cannot approach the Lord directly. We have to go through the spiritual master, pure devotee. And as we know, as we read Srila Prabhupada's, purports, in Bhagavad Gita or any of his books, I don't have to really actually, speak on this point, that we all know that actually Srila Prabhupada's purpose are very revolutionary. That actually, every sentence, when we study Bhagavad Gita, I realize that, more I think that I know, I realize it, when I listen to other devotees, I realize that, oh, actually, I didn't actually realize that point. So much actually instructions, given in such a systematic manner. And for Srila Gurudev, especially his transcendental mellows, is really inspiring to me. Even actually, I read, that calendar, all the time, and we memorize all this instruction, by heart, So whenever I'm difficulty, I always remember those instructions. Even the simple thing, gives us so much confidence, because I remember actually Srila Gurudev, he instructed that whenever you are in actually trouble, going through the having some problems, you sit down and read Bhagavatam. You will find solution in the Bhagavatam for all the problems. So this instruction, given many moons ago, when I was very new, and actually I said I tried it a couple of times, and you always find answer, or you always actually find instruction that will actually soothe the situation. It will definitely help you. So these instructions, make us fearless, to some extent, because I'm not actually, I'm still very contaminated. I may not actually realize the full extent of how pure devotee, he become totally fearless. But these instructions, coming from the pure devotees, if we realize it, if we actually meditate on this and try to implement this, then this will definitely will make us fearless. So this is actually point. Actually, I was thinking. Today I try to actually meditate on, and this is what I realize, and I find this very actually instructive. How to become actually fearless in this material world is very, very important, and especially is very relevant today's time. So actually, thank you, Amrish Babuji, Srila Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada for your instructions, all this knowledge that is actually saving us and helping us to progress on this path of devotion. Jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much to all you wonderful devotees, all leaders Sangha. We are speaking your realizations, and it's very inspiring to all of us to see different angles. So now we'll stop the live screen, and very soon, in a few seconds, we'll restart again with my realization.